the jungle, I realised how false people could be when I came out as well. I mean, Nigel Farage spoke to me the whole time I was in there. The minute I came out, he wouldn't even look at me. He never even said hello or goodbye. He just...
No way.
Done. In the UFC, it's so hard because they control every single narrative. It's a business that goes 80% to the boss and 20% to the work. In no other business on the planet does that continue. It's shark-infested waters, mate. And fucking Jaws would struggle to survive in there, to be honest.
We are at Champion Combat Centre, and this podcast is all about speaking to people at the top of their game, hearing their story, mentality, mindset, all that good stuff. And of course, to do it with me is the man, Tom Aspinall. I think you're going even more big time, mate. You've got a hat today.
Oh, mate, I've not had my haircut. You've got a lovely haircut there, though, haven't you?
I will be honest.
Show me up today, mate.
Our guest was trying to get an earlier appointment, and I might have been at the barber's.
Yeah, is that what it was?
It's all
mate, you're looking fresh. I'm looking like shit, but...
Got to introduce the main man, though.
Tony Bellew's in the building. Welcome, Tony. Thanks for coming, mate.
Absolute pleasure, boys. Pleasure's all mine, and thank you for having me.
Mate, to have a former world champion as well, but man of the people, more importantly. Tony, this podcast is all about hearing your story, mate. So we're buzzing to get into this, and I want to start right from the start, mate. Liverpool, Toxteth, childhood, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up?
Do you know what? Liverpool's a very similar place to any other deprived place in the country. It's not special. I mean, I'm very proud to be from South Liverpool. I say born in Toxteth, raised in Wavertree. It's just another place that's deprived, really. You know, not much for kids to do. I mean, there's so much more for kids to do now. You know, you see kids, and I tell my kids to go out and play all the time. I've got a 13-year-old kid who's never played out. And I'd be petrified if he went out the house on his bike and stuff, but it's just the era and the way we live now. Everyone's so much more aware of the dangers and things that go on outside. And for me, I was just raised as a kid on the street. Me and my mates, I've got the same mates from school, same 10 and 11 mates, and we just went out when the sun came up and came home way after the sun had gone down. So as long as it wasn't too late, before 10, 11 o'clock, I didn't get a slap.
Here's a question for both of you, though. Do you think you would have been an MMA fighter and a boxer in today's world?
I don't know, because I think fighters, maybe you disagree with this, Tony, I don't know, but it's just like it's either in you or it isn't. No, I'm just drawn to it. I don't know why. But I don't know, because there's so much stuff to do that's away from that these days, isn't there? I don't know, it's hard to say. I feel like I was on the last generation of when it's like what you were talking about, where it's like, I used to have the rule, which loads of people have, when the lights come on, you come back in.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you can't get your kids outside. It's weird, isn't it? The way it's changed.
I just think I'm a product of my environment, and I was always going to fight. So it wouldn't have mattered if, as long as my dad's my dad, and my mum's my mum, and my little brother's still the same, I was always destined to fight.
So it was your environment completely?
Yeah, 100%. A product of your environment. I'm always that kid who's going to want to impress his dad. Yeah, and that's what, at that time when I look back, that's what was the most important thing to me. Showing him that I could do something he couldn't.
Wow.
And that's, yeah.
Well, your dad wasn't.
My dad was a fighter, but my dad ran Liverpool's nightlife for like 20 years in Liverpool. And as you know what Liverpool's like, Liverpool's nightlife is not to be messed around with, really. And he could really have a fight. My dad could scrap. He tried boxing. He had one bout, won it. Had a second bout, the guy jabbed his head off for a round. And at the start of the second round, he attacked him with the stool. That's the story I was always told. So it showed quite clearly my dad never had the discipline to stick with the boxing, but he had the fight in him. So then I remember going to boxing gym with him early in the days. I started off kickboxing at Alfie Lewis's gym. I'd done okay there, but then chose to go down the boxing route after getting disqualified kickboxing. So I never looked back, really. And as I said, I just always wanted to impress my dad. So it worked out okay, thankfully, in the end. But it's a long, long road. You go down this road of being a fighter and being living the life. Sports and combat sports, they're not sports, they're not hobbies, they're not it's a way of life. It can't be anything else. Boxing took over my entire life. I had this dream of being a WBC World Champion before I had the kids, before I met my wife. And if I'd never won that WBC title at Goodison that night, I'd still be fighting now, because I'd still be chasing that dream. I'm just very, I don't want to say lucky. There's no luck. The luck doesn't play a part. You know, it can do for certain instances and certain fights. Luck plays a part at times, but over the whole trajectory of a career, luck doesn't play a part. Over the whole span of a career, all throughout my life, luck wasn't what got me where I got. It was hard work, a sacrifice of discipline, a belief in myself, and I believe that for all top athletes. No one gives you nothing for nothing. Nobody. You know, it just doesn't exist.
Love it. We're on fire already. Straight off. Do you feel for both of you though, just about what you were saying, Tony, about that kind of approval and validation? Is that almost like the fire that builds you to then get you that career that you've just spoken about? Yeah,
I mean, it's just about keep plugging away. How much can you take? How many rejections, how many setbacks can you go through? The man who never quits is the man who can never truly be defeated. And I had that mentality when I turned professional. As an amateur, I'd lost and had setbacks and things like that, but I always knew the bigger goal and the bigger dream was in the professional ranks. And you're able to process losses a little bit better than the amateurs and things like that. In the pro game, you're on your own. You're a piece of meat. No one cares.
So when you were doing the amateur boxing, always in your mind was like, I'm going to be a professional boxer. It was never like, I'm just going to stick with amateur boxing, go to the Olympics and all that stuff.
I'm going to be a world champion. It was always my dream. I knew for a fact I was never good enough to win an Olympic gold.
Did you have to adjust your style to that?
I was boxing as an amateur with the professional style.
Yeah, got it.
So I was, out of my 47 amateur fights, I've stopped 32 of them.
Wow.
And as an amateur, that's just doesn't really happen much. I mean, out of me 3 ABA finals, I've stopped 2 of them. My 3 ABA titles that I've won, I've stopped 2 of them. And one of them I left unconscious for 5 minutes in an amateur with 10-ounce top 10 gloves on that had like pillows and head guards on when it was 4-2s. I didn't go on an amateur boxing ring to score points. I wanted to literally take the head off. It's the only thing I'm good at. It's the only thing I truly know and understand. So, yeah, it's all I wanted to do, Tom. I just knew it's the only thing I'm good at. And I always had this thing. When she got pregnant with Corey, with my eldest lad, I had a choice to make. It's whether you want nicer things, are you going to stick at this boxing, or are you going to go another way? And visiting my dad in jail when I was 12, I just thought, I've got to go. There's a way here I can go. And I always remember my dad saying to me, don't ever come in here. He said to me, it's the house of failure. And I look back on that now and I think a part of him was right, but there's a part of him that was wrong, because people go to jail and they're reformed people and it changes them for the better. Don't get me wrong, that's not the same for everyone. But for me, my fear once she got pregnant with Corey was, I can't ever put my kid in the situation I'm in, going to see my old man. That can never happen. So I literally gave my whole life to professional boxing. Nothing came before it. My kids didn't come before professional boxing. Nothing did. That's why I always speak to fights and go, and only they can really answer, are you living the life? Do you give your life? Because you will not get back what you want, I promise you, if you aren't giving your life to it. I don't care how good, how talented they are, how naturally gifted they are. They will not get there unless they give their life to it, I promise you, because someone will find you out.
You know what, that's a very similar situation to mine, isn't it?
Like, yeah, very similar.
I was I had my first kid when I was 23, and I was fighting at the time, doing it. But I did it like semi-full-time, do you know what I mean? I had like jobs to pay my training. And then I had twins when I was 25. So by the time I was 25, I had 3 kids. And it was just the same for me. I was like, I can't fucking... I felt like a lot, I don't know if you felt the same, but I felt like a lot of outside pressure from people being like, he needs to get a proper job.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, because I want to fight. So that's when I really like got honed in on, this is the way I'm going to like look after my family is by fighting. And I think we said it loads of times, like if I didn't have kids, I don't think I'd be anywhere near as successful as I am.
If I never had my kids, I wouldn't. I turned professional at 25, 24, 25, and I just thought, everyone thought it was going to be a pipe dream. Everyone thought I was up in the fucking cuckoo land with the stars, and everyone also thought when I first turned professional I was earning fortunes. I was rich. I wasn't. I was earning £6,000 a fight. And then the promoter that I was under at the time barely let me get away from that kind of wage bracket. So before I knew it, I was fighting for my first title, a Commonwealth title, for £10,000. How would you fight for 4 rounds for £6,000?
Yeah.
And then, because I trusted the man so much, I was then fighting a 12-round title fight for £10,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I was being promised that, I promise you, we're going to look after you. I promise you, you're going to get good money. And I got a £10,000 check in my first title fight for the Commonwealth title. And I thought, wow, what's going on here? I've been promised, I've been told I'm going to get this, I've been told I'm going to get that. And then tells me, don't worry, you're going to get more money for your next fight, for your first defence. I got £12,000 for the next one. And I'd sold £60,000 worth of tickets. And I got 12 grand. It's just, but these are the things that I look back on and then you think, wow. But like I said, nothing that I say can be taken. That's the actual. I hate the theory of when people go, there's 2 sides to a story. No, there's not. There's just the lies and the truth. Just what's the truth? What I've just told you there is the exact figures, and that's the truth.
So that's what happened to you.
That's what happened to me, and it's not like no one can. Well, you got it. I didn't get in. That's what I got for the fights, and that's what. And on the outside, everyone thought I was earning thousands and thousands, and some people even thought I was earning millions. To be honest, because I was the face on Sky Sports. I was the headline event in an Echo Arena that sold 600 grand on the gate, and I'm the main man, and I'm getting 12 grand. It's insane. Yeah. But it's sports, and for people like myself and Tom, we're not the most, brilliantly educated. We're not thick, but we're not educated to deal with the things that are thrown at you. That all we care about is fighting. All you want to do is win, and you're not expected. Well, you don't know. This is why boxers, less than 1% of boxers get out the game and they're financially secure. Less than 1%. It's actually 0.7. Fighters get out the game and are financially secure. And even of them 0.7% that do get out, they go broke too. I remember Mike Tyson sitting with me saying he's gone through 600 million.
Jeez.
$600 million.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
And you just think, what? But he's not, he's just thrust into the limelight and all the money comes at you. And I'm just so thankful and lucky it came at the very end of my career. Because I genuinely think I'd rather have a breakdown or I'd be dead if it come when I was earlier, before my kids. I really do believe that. But I try and now educate younger fighters. I try and help them in any way I can. I've been a manager for years and I stopped doing it. I never took a penny off any of the fighters for managing them. All I asked the fighters was, you do for them what I'm going to do for you. So I'm not going to manage you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you your record paydays. I don't want a penny, but I want you to help the next kid after you. And don't charge him, just help him. Give him the advice. I'm not, by no means am I saying all managers should work and be unpaid. I was just in a position where I could at that time. I was fortunate that my career had worked out. I'd retired. But I urged them to just help the next generation, and hopefully it passes on. Just little things like that. Teach them how to pay the taxes, teach them how to manage the money, pay the bills, sort everything out. Have something saved for yourself after, because fighters are they think it's never going to stop. They just think the money's going to keep coming on, and it's not, mate. It is going to stop at some point, and you've got to be prepared for that. Every fighter should have an exit strategy, I believe. It's so hard to get that into fighters, though, when they're actually active and fighting. Have an exit strategy, have a plan, because trust me, when that door closes, it's very, very rare you can open it back up and have what you had before.
Someone listening to this that might be going through boxing or a sport or even just a day-to-day sort of job, I'm hearing what you're saying about your character, your passion, obviously, to boxing, but at the age of 12 to be seeing your dad in prison, that's a lot within itself to show the character you are. For someone listening or watching, what advice would you give that maybe they're going through those adversity moments, that are thinking, am I going to be able to stick to my passion? Am I going to be able to get to that point that Tony's sort of spoken about and gone through his career? What, if you to sort of really try and think about what was going through your mind in those sort of changing moments? In
them times, it's resilience and how much you really want your dreams, how much you really want, because loads of people say they want to achieve their dreams, and loads of people say, I'm doing everything I can, but really, are you? Are you really giving everything you can? Is it your passion? Is it your desire? Or are you after or you're after a look, or you're after an image, or, there's loads of fights I've come across who are far better than me. And they love the tag of, I'm a boxer, and they love the tag of, I'm a really good fighter. But do they really want to have that tag of, it's his life? It comes before anything. Like I said before, I'm embarrassed when I look back. I was willing to die to win. That's embarrassing that I had 3 kids at the time, and I was willing to die to win, because that's just a mentality that I've had stuck in me from a kid, and it's not good. As I said, if I was to get in the boxing ring now, I wouldn't have that mentality. That's why I'm so happy I'm far away from it. But that's what got me through. That's just the way I was. I knew nothing different, and I could never give in or back down. And as time goes on, kids soften you. And that's what my kids have done to me. They've softened me. But in them earlier days, mate, I'd have just done anything. And that's what worries me and scares me at times, because I just think if boxing didn't work, I'd be out there doing what everyone else is doing, and in and doing whatever you've got to do. And I was just willing to go to do stupid things and daft stuff to get what I wanted. And now, like I said before, I'm happy. I don't class myself as lucky. I know how hard I've worked. I'm not lucky. I'm a product of my environment, and I've worked for every single thing I've earned and done. But at the same time, if there was kids listening to this, you've been in a situation, or you know of a situation that's similar to mine, there's nothing you can't achieve if you give it everything. I'm not aesthetically great to look at, perfect. When you watch me boxing, people go, he's not even that good. It's a different ballgame when you get in the ring with me. My brain will figure out what you're doing. I don't know how or why, it just is because I've studied it for that long. I'm not the quickest, I'm not the strongest, but I'll figure out. I've fought guys much quicker than me, I've fought guys much stronger than me, and I've beat them. I beat them because I can figure them out, and I know a game plan or how to follow it and what to do. There's nothing special about me. I've just got an insane desire and drive. That's the only thing. I want it more than you. I think that's the only thing that sets me apart. I want it more than them.
Right, a little break in the podcast because we've got to talk about an extremely special prize from our partners at That Prize Guy. This is going to be unbelievable. You can become a millionaire. This is going to be a 12th millionaire that Prize Guy have. How do you say it? I've made? I don't know. They're giving away £1 million anyway. You can win it, mate. What are you going to do with the
$1 million. I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm loving all of it, mate. I think that's so we've already done 12 as well. Like, that's absolutely credit to him. £1 million though. I mean, where do you even start with that? I need some serious help, mate. That's
You got to buy a big gaff, haven't you?
Do you tell people?
Keep that one to yourself. Buy a big gaff in the middle of nowhere. Live your days out there. Get a swimming pool in. You can do all kinds with it. But August 30th, this is happening. Thatprizeguy.co.uk. If you've not, go and check it out now. But for now, we're heading back to the podcast. But please check out thatprizeguy.co.uk. Back to the podcast. When this is something that I think about a little bit now, especially now I'm getting a bit older. When this stops and you are retired, like, how does that progress, like, mentally? And, like, even, like you said, you get to the point where, like, you'll do anything to win. Yeah. You'll sacrifice anything to win, because, like, I've been there, I've done that for the last 20 years or whatever. Like, when you get to a certain age and you think, right, I'm going to start thinking about retiring, how does that, like, manifest itself through your life? Because just going to a normal guy from doing all that.
It's hard, Tom. It still never leaves you. It's I don't like going into boxing gyms much. I've loved coming into your gym today. It's the nicest gym I've ever been in. It's perfect. It's like, I wish I could have had somewhere like this to train and be in. I've got my own gym in my own house now. I've got a lovely house, kids have got lovely surrounding settings, but that gym just made me think, oh, this would be perfect. I'd love to smash someone's face in and just be great, just fighting and going for it. It's the cleanest gym I've ever been in, which that shouldn't be overlooked, because sickness and illness and comes in so many gyms, mate, so many different infections that you can catch. I'm telling you now, mate, that's cleaner than some hospitals I've been in. It really is. So that's a testament to all you guys. Talking about out of my mindset, like I said before, I want to stay away from boxing gyms, because I'm at an age now which is a little bit, it's dangerous. I'm 43. I know there's fighters I could still beat now. If I was to go to the gym for 3 months, 4 months, I know I could do it and beat them, so I'd just stay away from the gym. I need to get to that age where I go, you know what, you're absolutely fucked now. You've got no chance. Even after even after completely snapping my Achilles tendon at Soccer Aid, I still know there's people I'd beat, and I'd probably beat them quite comfortable.
Yeah.
A lot of it's because of the brain, the boxing brain I've got. So I just try and stay away. And that's the only thing I can say, really.
What
But
about
your
like
mindset never changes?
you know, like with your punditry stuff, because you're quite active in that world now.
Yeah.
Where you go into events a lot and working like is it fair to say you're a pundit? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm an analyst for the Zone.
An analyst.
So
Yeah.
I hate the commentary. I hate talking through.
Is that not hard for you though, just to be up close, like? Because that's when I feel like, you know, like when I go to an event, I'm like, oh fuck, I need
miss
to get
it.
involved. Yeah.
Do you know what? I miss fighting because I never ever got nervous. I've been nervous at 2 fights in my life. My first ever amateur fight, I'm fighting at Goodison Park. The only fight I was ever nervous for. I enjoy fighting. I've got a screw loose. Me and we both have all fights. I've got screw loose. I just admit it. It's just the difference is, like I said, I'm at that age now where I'm like, yeah, it's great and I love the environment and the atmosphere, but I love talking about boxing and I love breaking down fights. And as an analyst, I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, but I can break down any fight and tell you how to beat him. I'm not saying I can beat him, but I can tell you how and what you've got to do and this way to do it, that way to do it. I just don't like commentary where you're talking through the fight and doing certain things because it's just not for me. I never really enjoyed it. But as an analyst, yeah, that's good. Being around the events, no, because it's just different. You know, when you go to an event and you're watching, you're like, I like a bit of this and stuff like that. But the more you go to and you're away from it, the more it just becomes, I'm working.
Right.
I don't really get the buzz anymore. I don't really get.
Not even like walking backstage and seeing fighters warming up and stuff. That's like
Do you know what my part is?
That gets me.
What I feel for them. I'm too emotionally driven and attached to things, so I feel sadness for them at times. You know, when they're walking back or when they're walking to the ring, or I go in the dressing room before or I go in the dressing room after and see them. I know what they're going through, so I just hug them and then say, you know, I tell them after they've won, I tell them to reflect and go away and spend a little bit of time away from the gym. And this is the one thing I have. The only regret I have from boxing is I didn't reflect on my career. It was always about the next fight. I never sat back and had a fight and won and thought, wow, what have you done? I just thought, next one. I don't care. My missus will want a little holiday. We go a week away, 2 weeks at the most, 10 days, and I just go back to work. Like I was always in and around the gym. I wasn't these kids these days, you got fights and they go like, I need 12 weeks. No, you don't need to. Just live in the fucking gym.
Yeah.
Just stay in the gym.
Where does that come from though for both of you? Because I see massive parallels about, and it's really refreshing as well. You both talk about emotion quite a lot in fighting. Where do you find that almost like a superpower to talk about the emotion and sort of, Tom always says about that, you know, you are scared and there's the realism of fighting. Where does that come from for both of you?
I feel like I can't, I'm exactly the same. I struggle in my personal life to like enjoy myself. I know that sounds pretty sad, but I'm sure you know exactly what I mean.
You feel guilty for enjoying it?
Yeah, I can't, like, I go away on holiday and I'm like, I'll be buzzing for the holiday. I'll get there and I'll like want to train because I think there's someone out there training and I'm not. I just can't, I think it's like the anxiety of that. And that's just, it's not even motivation. I don't even want to do it, but it's like I can't rest until I've done it.
Get it?
It's a strange thing that you're like hooked on that doesn't fucking leave you. That's why I'm asking about like retirement and stuff. I used
to have a similar mentality to you, whereas I would set my training methods purely to know that I knew no one else was doing it. So I would want to train and be up at 5:30 in the morning running, and I would run 6 miles. Now I would want to come back to the house on an empty stomach and go back asleep. I'd force myself to have another hour, then go to the gym, then I'd do my boxing work, then I'd finish my boxing work, then I'd do my strength and conditioning work at Finch Farm at Everton Football Club. And I'd want to go to that regime because I just knew no one in and around my weight division. They didn't struggle to make weight like I did, and they wouldn't train 3 times there like I did. I would want to run at like sometimes mad hours. I'd just, out of the blue on a weekend, we'd have, let's just say, spaghetti bolognese on a Saturday night. I'd want to run that off. My greatest ever running time was after the spaghetti bolognese at 8 o'clock on the night. I went running at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night. I was living in Old Swan, and I ran from my house, Old Swan, all the way to town, ran through town, ran back. I think it was 6 miles, and it was a stupid time. And it was things like that. I just pushed myself. And I look back and think, you were doing yourself damage, you lunatic. But it was all to, as Tom has just said there, it was just, you're feeding this thing in the back of your mind. You don't need to feed anyone, you don't need to feed it at all. You know how hard you've worked. No one can catch you up on the work you've put in over the years. And the only thing that gave me confidence towards the end of my career was, I'm going in a ring, and the fighters used to always say, why aren't you Nibs, why aren't you? Because I can't do any more. Like, I'm so relaxed and I'm so calm. When I fought David A, the whole world wrote me off. I was going to get knocked out and whatever have you. And I was dancing to his ring music when he was walking to the ring. I was so relaxed and calm because I knew deep down I couldn't do any more than I'd done in that gym. I couldn't have ran any harder. I couldn't have trained any. I couldn't have sparred any better. I'd give it everything I had. So when I'm in that ring, what's going to be is going to be. Like, I can control what I can do. I can't control what he can do. And it is what it is. Like, I just have no fear or it doesn't bother me because I can't work any harder. And a lot of fighters I've always found over the years, they get nervous and start second guessing themselves because something might have went wrong in camp. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Well, the fact is, did you give it everything you have? If you can look yourself in the mirror, and I tell my kids this now, if you're giving it 100% of what you've got, and whatever you choose to do, if you're trying to be the best you can, you'll never have any regrets. I don't have any regrets with boxing. I gave it everything I had. Everything I possibly had. So I couldn't expend myself in any other way. I couldn't work any harder. I couldn't push it any more. And by doing that, I was as confident as I was. So
that allowed you to talk about your emotions and have that.
Allowed me to, and I'm quite open. I'd bloody hell, some of the things, the thoughts that go through your mind as a fighter, and being a father and trying to be a fighter as well. I was so selfish when I look back. I would just piss off to camp. Didn't care what was going on in that house. I'd just piss off. And you know why? Because that's my goal, that's my dream. Until I won that world title, that's when I started putting them at the first, I think. I became world champion. My missus actually wanted me to retire on the Monday. I fought for the title on the bank holiday Sunday, won it, and on the Monday she thought, that's it, we're done. She thought, like, you're going to retire now? And I said, girl, we're so far away from financial security, you've got no fucking idea. You know what I mean? I'm old school. I think fellas my job's to provide. That's my job. Her job is to look after the kids while I'm at work and I'm training, I'm fighting, I'm doing whatever, but I provide. You don't worry about the providing side. I do that. And after we'd won the world title, I'm sitting Monday, the bank holiday Echo comes out. We're looking at the bank. I'm looking at the belt. I've got a picture of it on my phone to this day, and I've looked at it, and I'm just thinking, you've done it. The lifelong goal and dream you've set out to do, you've achieved it, it's done. And then she's next to me going, so you retire now, love, that's it. Just, what are we going to do next? And I was just like, no, we're so far away. And then, but what I did promise her was, I said, the rest of my career is now about money. That's all it's about. And it's a different kind of narrative than that you're chasing. It's a different kind of goal that you're chasing. When you're chasing money, it can get dangerous because your mindset, like, it's only until I finished my career I found out that it wasn't about the titles. It wasn't about the money. It was about a desire and a love for fighting that I had, but also about chasing goals. So what I do now is I try and give myself other goals. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to get better at this. I want to get better at that. As a man, I feel we should always be chasing and trying to achieve something, no matter what it is. Because the minute you get, what's the word I'm looking for? When you stay in one place and you're happy, when you become content, I just believe content is the biggest indicator of being unhappy. Well, it is for me. The minute you're content, the minute you've stopped striving, the minute you've stopped trying to achieve, I just feel you're stuck in a place. And if anything, it used to just make me sad. So when I retired, I became content. My dream was to get fat. When I retired, just enjoy being fat.
You don't look fat. You look
I'm fat, but I'm not a blob. Yeah, I'm on my way. But when I first retired, my thing was just like, I'm going to enjoy getting fat, and I didn't want anything to do with cameras. I wanted to be as far away from any of the media as I could, because my last 3 years was under the spotlight. Beating David A sent me to another level, winning at Goodison Park, winning the world title. It's like the dream scenario. The Rocky movie sent me into another place. And then after the Usyk fight, I just thought, you fought for all the marbles, you fought the best in the world. Just go and get fat and enjoy life. And after 6 months of doing that, I looked in the mirror and just thought, you're a mess and you're doing nothing. and I just felt sad. That's the best way of saying it. I just felt sad and just thought, you can have all the money in the world, you can have your exercise, you can have your business, you can have your whatever else you're doing, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and I wasn't striving to anything. And as I said before, I just feel all men need to be doing, so it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're a fucking bin man, if you're a fucking gym assistant, whatever you're doing, just try and be the best at whatever you do. Strive towards something, and it just gives you a bit more purpose and something to do.
Can I ask, I heard you say it before, but I'd be interested to know what you sort of feel now. You said when you stopped boxing that Tony Bellew died, and you had like Anthony Bellew and then Tony Bellew. When that Tony Bellew did die, who were you fighting for all those years, and who are you fighting for now, I guess?
Tony Bellew, it's a thing, it's saying always a Tony, is it Anthony? In me, when I walk in the house, I'm always Anthony. My wife calls me Ant, unless she's trying to annoy me or calls me Bomber. And that's when she's there trying to piss me off. And if she wants to just have a little poke and wind up, she'll go, Tony, what are you doing? And who knows, that'll get a reaction I don't really like. I've never been called Tony. I only gave, my dad's always Tony Bellew. And when I started boxing as a professional, I basically said, I'm Tony Bellew. And it was just to keep me dad, for me dad, really. Wow. I've never, before I turned professional, nobody called me Tony. It was even as an amateur, I was always Anthony Bellew. Anyone from Rotunda, anyone from the gyms I had previously, I've always been Anthony. And then all of a sudden, I turned pro and I just went, it's Tony Bellew. And I just thought, it's going to put my dad's name on the map, that. Even though, believe you me, in Liverpool, his name's already developed. But I just thought, so when I stopped fighting, I've never been Tony.
I thought you meant it by like that it was creating a persona for fighting, that you could kind of sort of separate it. But people always think, so do you switch and stuff? Listen, I can be a maniac. I've got to switch and I can flip and I can just go into this psychopath. But that's not really, I don't want to say that's not really me. It is me. I'm not acting, but it's just a part of me I don't really want to be, and I don't really want to see. I don't like being a maniac. Because I can do crazy and stupid and dangerous things that can get me in a world of shit. So I just stay away from that. And it's not hard to know. What I've learned to do an awful lot more as I've got older is dictate the situations and scenarios I'm put in. So I don't really go in nightclubs. I don't really go to bars. I don't really go to the events where I can sense that there could be a problem. I try and stay away from. The most dangerous place for me to be in is probably these boxing shows when I'm working. Because I'm behind the barrier, it doesn't really happen. I think I've had 2 instances since I've retired. One was at a boxing show, a fella trying to threaten me, fucking muppet in the crowd, telling me I'd punch my head in. I said, sound okay. So I just took my jacket off and walked up the stairs. He's very lucky security got to him first and strangled the life out of him, because if I had got him, he'd have been a kip in seconds. And the other one was an instance in Nando's when I was with my family. A guy poked me in the back and told me stand up and get a picture with me while I had the chicken in my mouth and the fork. I just like, are you serious? He said, get up, come on, behave yourself. So I didn't have the picture, and he legged it out of the Nando's when I got up and he seen what I was going to do. But the 2 situations I've retired, I don't really have any problems. I don't want any problems. The older you get, the more you realise, and the more you find out how less important materialistic shit is, and how much more you want to calm. I just don't want any problems. I don't want any confrontation. I don't want any problems. But at the same time, if you've got a problem, no problem. I'll meet it head on. But I don't want a problem, and I don't want that to sound in any way like conflict. It's not got. I don't want any headaches. I'm happy living a quiet life. It does it well. I enjoy talking about my boxing. I love my job that I've got. But it's just I realise I'm getting older, and I'm past all the bullshit and the nonsense.
What about like post fighting? Obviously, you're working events and stuff like that. What about when you started moving more in like the celebrity world?
Do you know what, mate? It just came out of nowhere, really. I think I've always had this perception made of me from the TV. He's a psychopath. He's a lunatic. And I get it, because when you look back, I'm jumping up at press conferences, I'm attacking people. I'm live. I'm a bit nuts. I get it. And because that's what the camera perceives me and puts me out to be. It was only on when it comes towards the back end of my career, like I said, they seen the real me. So when I lost my brother, my brother-in-law, Ashley, they seen there was a bit of a softer side to me. Like I said, I can be the maniac. I can be whatever you want me to be. But the only soft side to me is in the four walls of that house. So when I'm at home, I'm not, and they see me inside the four walls of my house. They see me around my family. They see me around my brother that I lost. And I think people are like, oh, he's actually not a maniac. He's actually okay. So then these shows started calling. I think the first one that opened me up was A League of Their Own. I think they showed he's a bit funny and he's a bit scared of heights. He's a normal fella. That one opened up, and then bit by bit I'd done the SAS show, which was a decent one. I'd just not long retired, and I hadn't long lost our Ashley, and I was just in a place where I don't like using the word depression, because I just believe it's branded around too much now. People are talking shit when they use it. But when you lose, so grief is a real thing. Grief brought on deep. I think that's the closest I've been to what I could describe as depression. I just didn't want to go out the house, crying myself to sleep for 3 months, going away into a boxing camp in the holiday and expressing rather than just sobbing myself to sleep each night. And that's because with grief brought, he's not coming back. And I hear these things, people getting a broken heart and shit like that. Your heart mends, mate. You find another woman, you find another man, whatever it is, it does eventually mend. When you lose people, it never goes, because they're never coming back. And to lose your brother-in-law as a young man, and someone who looked up to you and loved you and adored you and thought you were something you were not, that was very, very hard. So yeah, that's what Sky Sports opened up that side to me, and the TV loved that, because everyone loves the big tough guy who can laugh at himself, who can cross over a little bit, and that's what it seemed that I was going to be. So that was the SAS show done. That helped me get over losing Ashley. It helped me help my wife. It put things into perspective. And then that crazy other show, what else have I done? The Jungle. That was a bit mad, I'm not going to lie.
He was saying before that you couldn't do it. He's actually vouched for you on this one. He said, he was like, the diet, he lost 10 kilos.
Yeah, well, is it the third or fourth person that we've had on the podcast who's been in it?
Nice, mate.
Everybody said pretty much the same. Yeah. I think
if I lost 10 kilos of weight in there. I mean, I found 9 of them now, but I lost 10.
Was that before you getting fat or after?
Mate, I was heavy I think I was 17 stone when I went in there.
Right.
So you done the getting fat, and then you were like, right, I'll get in the jungle.
And I just thought, no, in all honesty, mate, I went in the jungle. It wasn't really money incentive that I was driven by. You know what? I don't think many people know this, but I went in because I've over the years, I've been with Rach 25 years, my wife. I've been with her for 20. I've been married for only about, been married for about 6-7 years, but I was only getting to know when I married her, mate. I'm telling you now, even though we've been together 25 years, 19 years we weren't married for. And I just thought, I've bought her all these, this is why I talk about this materialistic shite. I've got her all them things. She's had the car, she's had the watch, she's all the rings, the house, all the bags, all the shit she's had. And there's only really things I can give her these days, and that's memories. And she's always wants to go to Australia. So me being the tight ass that I am, I just thought, you know what? If I go to the jungle, all the kids can go.
Link it in with a work trip. It's got to be done, hasn't it?
She's gonna have the holiday of a lifetime. It's gonna be all expenses paid. I'm not gonna spend a penny. We're gonna get her there and back, and the kids are gonna have a great time. Now, in my stupid tiny little mind, I thought, no one likes Scousers really deep down. They all hate us. And I thought, they'll have me out after a week, and then I'll enjoy a 2-week holiday with them as well. So we'll just all be on a great holiday. Basically, if not, it'll be great in Australia, and we'll see all the best experiences. 3 weeks later, I'm coming out tortured. I've lost how much weight. And she's like, I remember coming over to she went, the kids and us have had the best holiday ever. I looked like this and just thought, are you messing? I feel like I've been tortured for 3 weeks. And yeah, that's really the reason I went in. I thought, it's the last real thing I can give her.
So what was the worst then, that or the SAS? Because it looks intense, that SAS thing.
The SAS is hard. It's physically, we're walking. Nothing's going to ever break us physically. I told them that when the first day I went in, I said, you're never going to break me physically, but we'll find your weakness. And I was like, listen, there's nothing you can do physically to me that will put me in more pain than what training did. You know what training camp's like. Training camp's harder than any fight you'll ever have. And it's supposed to be. That's why it conditions your mind and your body to go through anything. But the physical, the mental aspect in the SAS was tough. Them guys are soldiers, mate, and they are so clever. Like, they told me they will figure out your weakness. They never said they'd break me physically. I just had this silly thing in my head. They're not going to break me physically. They weren't interested in breaking me physically. They were just interested in getting in my mind and my psychology, and they done it. It worked. They figured out what my weakness was, which I swore I never had one. I was like, I've got no weakness. Mentally, I'm as strong as anything. I can get through anything. They worked it out. And then the jungle, it's, can you deal with the boredom and the hunger? The hunger's, I've always, because I've lived life on a diet, and not my whole life, but most of my career has been lived on a diet. Me making 12 stone 7, it was hard. I mean, I was making 12 stone 7 until I was 31. And it absolutely killed me. It was very, very hard. So, starving for 2.5 weeks, I got through it. But it's on your mind, mate. It's the boredom. It's tough. It's not easy. Anyone that's saying that jungle's easy is a liar, especially if you get to the final like I did. You know, it was just me and Sam on the final day, literally for the last hour, and it was difficult. It was really difficult, mate. So I can't even. The plus sides of it is meeting Sam was a plus point. He's a lovely lad. He's round the bend, but he's a lovely kid, mate. Living with him was an experience. I loved spending time with the likes of Marvin Humes. Marvin was a lovely lad. All of them were really nice. I mean, I realised how false people could be when it came out as well. Like, I'm just a person, what you see is what you get. Whatever I'll say on here, I'll say to your face. That's how I believe that everyone should be. But I'd found out certain people that were in there just weren't like that. And then, you know, I mean, Nadja Farage spoke to me the whole time I was in there. Conversations, back and forth debates. The minute I came out, he wouldn't even look at me. He never even said hello or goodbye. He just...
No way.
Done. It's like I went in there to achieve on his... And that's it. I'll just speak to anyone. I don't mind.
But you seem so assured in yourself, and just, you are who you are, and you're not bothered if they're going to do that behaviour. I
don't care.
Yeah.
I'd take me as you find me. I'm not special. I'm the same as everyone else. I don't believe anyone's special. Like, the people I've met over the years, I used to have this thing before. Everton Football Club's my biggest passion. I love Everton Football Club. I don't brag about it, but, you know, I didn't choose. I was chosen. No one chooses to support Everton. You're a special breed. That's what we are. But I remember the first time going in that dressing room and Tim Cahill talking to me. I remember him saying, and I was just so in awe. Took me in, he was talking and chatting to me, and he just went, Tone, you know you're no different than us, don't you? And I was like, don't be ridiculous, you play for Everton Football Club, you live in the dream. And he went, Tone, you're a sportsman. I was a professional fighter at the time, I think I was 5-0. He said, you're the exact same as us, so don't worry about it. And that literally, going in that dressing room, being around them lads, it took about 18 months for that to sink in. I've never met a person again since and thought, you're something you're not. Even being around the likes of Sylvester Stallone, I just thought, you're not better than me. You're the exact same, you're just really good at your job. He's just an amazing actor. But he's a normal person. What makes him tick makes you tick. What he likes, we like it. It's just, we're all people. What I've done or what I've did doesn't define who I am. We're exactly the same. We're good at fighting. That's what we do. It's what our passion is. But take away the fighting, you're just another human being.
Right, guys, just going to have a little break here, and we're just going to talk about one of my new partners, Zapley.
This is a question that you get asked all the time when I'm around you, whether it's on content days, around fans, and people are fascinated by what you eat and also what you take.
Yeah.
Is it not a nightmare that you have to take so many different supplements and you're just forever taking pills and potions?
Mate, if I separated it, yeah. But with Zapley, like just on this, for example, just on this one supplement, which you only take 3 a day and it's an all-in-one, you've got vitamin A, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, vitamin B6, magnesium, zinc. Some of this stuff I can't even say. It's so wild. But these are the stuff that I'm looking at as an idiot that gets punched in the face for a living. Shilajit extract, ashwagandha,
What does it mean?
cordyceps.
Tell me.
These are
an
all
idiot.
These are all stuff that like naturally increase your testosterone, and apparently it's good for like head trauma as well. So stuff like this, if you're into MMA, if you're into combat sports, if you're into contact sports where you're getting bashed around the head, this is the kind of stuff that you should be taking. But also a natural testosterone booster, because obviously I get drug tested. I ain't going to fail a drug test. This is all informed sport approved, which is very important.
And for an everyday person like me, it's pretty good going as well.
Mate, it's great. It's got everything, even like zinc and magnesium, which is great for stuff like sleep as well. Like, this is what you want to be taking. If you've not already, guys, check it out. Zapply, good stuff, affordable, great product. But for now, we'll get back to the podcast.
The big question obviously is, mate, the chase, what we saying, Masked Singer or Strictly Come Dancing? What are we going for?
They asked me, I've been asked a couple of them, mate. I'm not doing the dancing one.
I said, everyone's got a price, don't they? Everyone's got.
Yes.
It'd have to be 8 figures for me.
That's true. I'm not going to.
Tony will be.
I've got. That is very true. Everybody has got a price, regardless of what it is. That is true, and I don't care who you are. Everybody's got a price.
It's a perfect transition into Eddie Hearn. We can talk about that, yeah.
Trust me, everyone's got a price. It's just, listen, if Elon Musk and Mark fucking Zuckerberg have got a price, this fat kid from Wales, everybody's got a price.
Yeah.
There's something that you can't say no to. The only thing I will say is there's ways of saying yes and no to things. You can accept any offer. You can say, I agree, it's got to be taken, but there's ways of doing things. And one thing I'll never sell is me morals and me soul, because I couldn't bear to look in the mirror and see someone who's done something wrong. I've never done an innocent person wrong. I've never sold me soul. Even though my wife likes to wind me up and say, you fucking sold your soul to the fucking telly, and I haven't. And I couldn't do it. And I've been put in certain situations over the years. Bloody hell. I remember I'd won the world title. When I won the world title and became world champion, I hadn't even purchased my house. I had a heavy-ass mortgage on it, and I had no contract. I was a world champion and didn't even own my own house. British, Commonwealth, European, didn't own my own house. And I got a phone call off a man who offered me 1.6 million quid for my next fight. Bear in mind, the highest I'd been paid at that stage was $250,000.
Wow.
And he phoned me up, and this guy was a real person with real money. And I was like, I can't. And he said, why can't you? I said, I just can't, because I shook hands. And he said, you did shake hands. He said, but you haven't got this man knew me. He said, you haven't got a contract with him. I phoned up Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn said to me, you've got to take that. And I said, I'm not. He said, what do you mean? He said, I can't give you that money. He said, you've got to take it. I said, well, I'm not taking it. I said, because now that I know he wants to fight me, he's going to have to deal with you. And it was the David A fight that was coming to me offering me the money. And the man on the phone said, I can't believe you're going to do what you're doing. I know the situation you're in. I know you haven't got a pot to piss in. And you're not going to take this money. And I remember my wife standing next to me going, you are taking the money. And I'm going, I'm not. I shook hands with him and we'll get it done. David didn't want to work with Eddie. David and Eddie didn't get on. David hated Eddie. And the people I was speaking to on the phone were there on David's behalf and on other people's behalf. But yeah, so when people say to me, have you been put in that situation? I have been put in that situation, and £1.6 million that you're getting clear. Believe you me, that was a fortune then, but thankfully I stuck to my word, and I just thought, and Eddie will never forget that. I know he won't, because he's the man that I phoned. And if he would have said to me, well, you know what, I can't believe he did say to me, you've got to take it. And I just said no. I knew I'd be able to make the fight now, because I knew the fight was going to be real. But that 48 hours of thinking I've just knocked back 1.6 million quid and I'm fucking skint, that was a hard 48 hours. But you know what? I knew it was the right thing to do. And thankfully it worked out in the end. I just feel what you give out comes back to you in life. I don't really believe, I'm not all this, not going to sit here and start talking about God and all, and grace to God and glory to God. I haven't got a fucking clue the glory goes to. But what I do know is I can put my head on the pillow at night and go, I've been a good person. I've not done anyone wrong. I've not shortchanged anyone. I've not ripped anyone off. I've done it right and I've been fair. So everything I've done there's been reasoning behind it, and I've tried my best. I've given everything I have.
I love that. One question that we always ask, because people always say, "Oh, what would you say to your younger self?" and the rest of it. What would you say to future Tony?
No.
Looking ahead.
Just try and stay happy. Just try and be happy. Live in the moment. But my goal now is to try and be the best dad I can be. I know that sounds a bit cringeworthy, but it's not fucking easy being a dad. It's really tough. I've got a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old, both bigger than me. Both think they can fucking take me. You know what I mean? And you're just trying to stay on the straight and narrow with the two of them and try and raise them. I'm just trying to raise these kids to be better than me. They already are, and they're far advanced and far more ahead of me. But understand that your father is the only person, the only true man in the world who wants you to be better than him. Every other man you meet, they want you to do well, shake your hand and wish you well, but they don't want you to be better than them. Your father's the only man in the world who wants that. So I talk to young boys and young kids, and you encourage them just to be the best you can. And I said, I'm just trying to be the best dad I can be. It's impossible to be the best husband, mate, because no matter what you do, they're never going to be happy. You just can't beat them, you know what I mean? You just got to join them. But as for being a father, I'll just keep striving. That's my goals, they're my passions, they're my dreams. And just, as I say, try and be happy. But it's hard. It's not easy. And I'm not going to lie to you, when it stops and the lights go away, it's not easy, champ. It's not easy. So I'm not going to say to you, oh, it's great when you finish, because you've got this. It's not. It's lonely. It's tough. It's hard. Find things that can it's hard to, that you can really take passion in and pride in and really love doing. Boxing coaching wasn't really for me. I've got so much I could pass on and give on, and I enjoy giving little bits at a time, but I couldn't give my life to a fight.
I don't think I can be a coach either. People ask me all the time. It's not, I'm fully aware of what it takes to be a coach, and I give everything to fighting. I can't give it to somebody else.
Coaching,
yeah.
It's so, people don't realise how much a coach gives. You get the right coach, every time that boy's in the gym, guess who's with him? And I know that yours is a different situation. That's your dad. You're his son. And I think your father and son relationship comes before you're fighting. It might not feel like that now, but it will for your father. It might not feel like that all over them years, but it's difficult with something like that. I couldn't give my life to a fighter. I just couldn't do it, because it's just so hard. The game is brutal, whether it's boxing, whether it's mixed martial art. It's just your life. You've lived the life, you know. It's been your whole entire life. The only thing that gives me solace and I suppose is happening is knowing that I gave it everything I could. You'll know deep down, you've given everything you can. You will leave the game and you'll be happy. Trust me, and you should be. You've achieved your goals, you've achieved your dreams. I see so many fighters, Tom, who have come away from the game and they're so bitter and they're so twisted. And it's sad to see I've lost friends through the game as well. People who I thought were friends. Why have you got an anger towards me? Why have you got a nastiness towards me? It's not my fault. I gave it everything. It's not my fault. I achieved my dreams and you didn't. Just as long as you give it everything you possibly can, you'll leave the game, and don't be one of them bitter, twisted fighters. You've seen so many of them.
Yeah.
They walk out of gyms and it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
It's no one else's fault. It's always on the fighter. I don't care what your situation is, what you say. It's on the fighter. You fight, not the coach. You make the decisions, not the coach. You chose to get in the ring, not the coach. All of these things, culpability. Be responsible for your own actions and own your rights and own your wrongs. So that's, once again, the things that I can live with. I own them. The shit that I've done loads of bad shit. The good things that I've done, I own that shit too.
You seem like you're quite hard on yourself as well.
I am. I'm my own worst critic. I was throughout my whole career. Didn't do me any harm. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm definitely my worst critic. And like I said before, when I'm fighting, I can look terrible on the eye, but there's not a fighter I've got in a ring with and he can fight him. There's no one I've ever even sparred for, got him anything in any way that could say, he's shite. They know when they get in the ring with me. So part of me thinks to myself, but I know why I was that good. I know why I could do what I could do, because I lived it. I gave it everything I've got, and that's why, once again, I have no regrets. But I come across so many fighters, and I listen to the stories, and I listen to the shit that they talk, and it's always someone else's fault. Own what you do. It's not on anyone else, it's on you. Whatever decisions you've got to make them, and stand by them and stand on them. It's not hard.
I find it fascinating how you simplify fighting, because you've spoken about before, there's kind of this bravado and they have to be a certain way. And where does that come from? And where did you find that moment where you were like, this is time to get out? Because you talk about that as well as like the actual reality of family life and all that stuff.
It's what people want you to be. At certain stages in my career, I became what they wanted me to be. When I fought Nathan Cleverly, I knew being a good guy and shaking hands weren't going to work. No one gives a shit. Fights in my era, I remember Kell Brook fighting Gennady Golovkin. That was like Sugar Ray Leonard against Marvin Hagler of the millennium. That's the best welterweight in the world facing the best middleweight in the world. Nobody cared, because the two of them turned up at a press conference and shook hands and made the best man win. That's all well and good. No one gives a shit. That only matters if you're Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson transcends the whole thing. Mike Tyson can just turn up, even though he's got the killer in him, he's got the devil in him, and he says he's going to kill you. But Mike Tyson, for the first whole part of his career, never really said much, but he just turned up and knocked people out. And that's all the public want to see. For everybody else who can't do that, like I was when I faced Nathan Cleverly, I've got to talk. I've got to be the bad guy. And I'm happy to do that, but it's only, thankfully for me, like I said before, at the end, you then see the real side of me. Tom shouldn't have to do that. But I suppose if he wants to transcend and go to the next level, you have to figure a way to do it. And it's either by you knock everyone out, or you be controversial. It's like Conor McGregor hit the nail on the head with what he'd done. Yes, he was flattening people. He wasn't always flattening people. He didn't always perform fantastically well. But the minute his performance didn't do what he needed it to do, he was controversial. And you've got to choose what you want to do. There's different ways. Like, he's not the best talker the world's ever seen, but I mean, he's been portrayed to be the best talker. Chael Sonnen's the best talker I've ever seen. Chael Sonnen is the best bad guy I've ever seen. Mate, he belongs in fucking movies. The shit I've heard that lunatic say, and he's so close to the edge. But it's probably because he doesn't knock people out. His fighting style doesn't appeal to everyone, but his mouth appeals to everyone. You've got to find a happy narrative that you're willing to play. But you shouldn't have to do that. You should. And another part is, how are you being portrayed? How are you being sold? He could have been portrayed as the quiet guy who just comes along, or you can be portrayed as, they can show parts of him in training where you're a maniac. It's how you're being portrayed is a big part of selling you. And with someone where Tom's been in the UFC, they control the narrative of everything. In boxing, the narrative can be controlled by yourself, it can be controlled by your promoter, it can be controlled by your TV station, your network. In the UFC, it's so hard because they control every single narrative, whether from your bloody sponsorship, from your persona, it's everything. And I'm not knocking them, because as a business and a platform, mate, it's one of the best businesses I've ever seen created in my entire life. It's a business that goes 80% to the boss and 20% to the work. In no other business on the planet does that continue. It can't, because people are so aware these days. It used to happen in boxing, but it couldn't, because things like social media evolved. People realise what they're worth. People realise what they can generate. In boxing, it's frightening. I remember the first time I got into a fight and I was the boss. They had what's called the ownership model. So after I become world champion, I was with Eddie, and then Eddie goes, "Tony, I work for you now." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" If I open the books, you see what you can generate, what you can earn. And when I fight, I was like, that's how much they paid for that. That's how much they paid. And it's just a book. And in the end, I stopped looking at the book, because then you just get carried away and just like, you can't believe what you can generate. I mean, when I fought David A the second time, it's just astronomical. You're looking at the book and you're going, how is this like possible? and you don't know because I'm just a punchy kid from Liverpool. And so you send your accountant, and then he comes back to you and he breaks it down. And he goes, that's what you got for this, that's what came in for this. And then he goes, I take a percentage. And you go, the rest, that's mine, really. And then you realise the more power you're getting. And then you go like, I'm facing Alexander Usyk. I was the boss. I just told him he's getting what he's getting. This guy's come with all the belts in boxing, the big, huge, like, team. He's got everything. And I just go, you're going to take that. Everything else is mine. Everything this whole show generates is mine. You've got your fee. And that's it. In no other sport, in no other combat sport in the world would a promoter allow that to happen. Eddie did. And that's not me telling, and people will go, that's Tony kissing Eddie's. It's not me kissing that. That's just the, like I said to you before, when they say there's two sides to a story, no, there's not. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
That's all he is. And the truth is, there's not a promoter in the world who'd do that with a fighter who's generating what I was doing, because no promoter's done it before. Don King's never done it. None of them have ever gone, I work for you. Have you ever heard the promoter say, I work for the fighter? Eddie will. And he'll openly admit it. Anthony Joshua is probably the biggest marketing driving force in all of combat sports this country's ever produced. And he's achieved and realised the financial success that he's had purely through. He's backed himself and he's got to the stage where the ownership, he was on the ownership model when he was fighting for the British title. And he was generating millions for a British fucking title. I know, because I fought on his undercard. I know what I got paid. He fought on my undercard in his earlier days. But these are the kind of things that I don't care. I haven't got such a big care about managers. I care about fighters, and I care about fighters getting what they're worth. That's what I really care about. And Eddie's the only promoter in the world who will allow a fighter to really achieve his financial goal. All the promoters will let a fighter achieve his actual physical goal and his physical dreams, which is world titles and a certain amount of money. But you will never find out your actual financial worth until you open books and you see that. And 99.9% of fighters never see it. And they never know. Could you imagine what Mike Tyson would be worth had that been done?
Ridiculous.
Tom, if he went through 600 million and he was being paid a wage, imagine what the bosses that be. He'd be worth billions.
Makes me think, what am I worth?
Well, what have you
You've got all the secrets on Eddie now. It's
what you generate. At the end of the day, you go into that cage. And let's be brutally honest, I know that the events are fantastic sometimes, but let's not bullshit. And they're there to see the main event.
Yeah.
People don't pay for chief supports. It's a bonus. Because, and I say this because when you put a main event on, people will go, right, well, most of the people do turn up towards the end and catch the main event. But if you just went, we're putting this one fight on, that arena's still selling out.
Yeah. Then
pay-per-view figures are still going to be the same. They might discrepancy. There might be a little bit of here or there, but it'll be there or thereabouts. They turn up to see main events, and that's what you generate.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish more fighters would take a bit more control and a bit more power. I get it. Like I said to you before, I learned on the job, and it was very, very hard for a kid who's been permanently excluded from school. Finding out about finances, learning about things, finding your way through. But when you get to that level and you're at the top and you're like, wow, how is this possible? How have I been able to generate this? Like I said before, fighting for my first title for £10,000. I've done 50 grand's worth of tickets and you're giving me 10 grand. This arena comes to 600 grand at the gate. And I understand you've got your costs and your overheads, but if we just open the book, I remember seeing when the book was opened on the O2, I'm thinking, looking at how much it was to book and how much is on the gate. Me and David, they've still got the record gate on that place for the rematch. The record gate, I think it was 2.4 million on the gate alone. And you're just like, how is that?
Yeah,
and
but
you never know, Tom.
You're a smart guy though, because, and I think that there's only a few fighters who are like that. Because we all get caught up too much in the this is my dream. This is what I've always wanted to do. This, that. But when you actually break it down, you're like, fucking, I'm getting massively ripped off here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting massively underpaid.
Getting your pants pulled down.
And that is...
But I had to go through it to learn. Like I said, like, I thought he was being my friend by giving me £10,000 for that fight. Yeah. But then when I sat down, I thought I was getting £6,000 for the 4-rounder. Why am I getting £10,000 for the 12-rounder? Like, even if I just add up what it costs to do 4 rounds, 8, 12, I thought it still should just be, alone it should just be £18,000. Why am I getting 10? And then you start looking at and questioning. He gained me trust by paying me so much for 4-round fights. And then they abuse it and they learn how to do it. But these are all just parts that you learn as you go on and you get older. Like I said before, it's so difficult for young fighters and young sportsmen because the goal is the belt. The goal is to get to the top. It's only when you come away and you look at it and you go, I deserve more than this because I'm bringing more to the table. And I suppose when you talk about the likes of Conor McGregor, he realised that.
Yeah.
He's seen that. And that's why I think he's the richest fighter the UFC's has ever produced and ever gained. And he's realised what he brought to the table. But I think for someone like that in that kind of sport, it should be recognised. You all bring that to the table because if there's no fighters, there's no UFC. If there's no boxers, there's no boxing. And that's who really holds the power.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because like a lot of fighters, I'm talking like 95+% of fighters, we all come from like humble beginnings.
Yeah.
We all love fighting. So I'm like the easiest person ever to entice into a fight. You've
done it for nothing.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah, years and years. There's like, there's this fight here in Madison Square Garden. Do you want it? And I'm like, fucking right, I want it.
Yeah.
But then as I'm getting a bit older, especially coming off the back of this injury that's been like career threatening, I'm like, I want to be getting what I deserve. Yeah. I don't want to be just jumping it. But it's easy because this fight, obviously we're all born fighters, aren't we? Or we're all learned how to be fighters. And it's like, it's easy for us just to say yeah. And still sometimes when I say no, which is, in fact, I don't think I've ever said no, I'd feel like a bit disappointed in myself if I did say no. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like the ego testing. It's weird, isn't it? How are you supposed to get better if you keep saying yeah? How are you supposed to get more than what you if you keep saying yeah? You've got to say no. You have to say, because if you keep saying yeah, then it's just you're gonna keep getting the same. Yeah, 100%.
Getting the same 100%. Treatment, and it's wrong. Do you know, it's not fair. But as I said before, the business side of combat sports, it's shark infested waters, mate. And fucking jaws would struggle to survive in there, to be honest. You've literally, you need to be a megalodon. And you've got to have the megalodon's knowledge as well, which is very, very hard. But it can be, like I said, I'm a little bit, I'm fortunate as in I learned on the job. And then I'm not going to lie. I mean, it took me years to trust Eddie. I didn't trust anyone. I mean, I don't trust anyone in boxing. I trust Ed, Frank and Barry. Between them, I've got an awful lot of trust placed in them, but it took me years to trust Eddie. When I first went to Ed, I didn't trust a word he was saying. Not a single word. Going through court battles and beating me ex-promoter in court was hard. It was so hard. And if I'd have lost me court battles back then, I'd have been retired from boxing. He tried to run me out of boxing. And I was a kid who was skint. And you go back to them moments and them testing times. Oh, mate, it makes me upset thinking about it. My career would have been taken away and I wouldn't have been able to feed my kids. I'm at this stage, like I said before, 3 kids. It's hard. Mate, it's very, very hard. And the stress and the pressure I've been put under for years. Like I said before, I'm just so thankful that it did work out. Because if it didn't, mate, 43, I'd still be on the circuit now. Thankfully, it worked out.
Final question that we always ask our guest, Tony. When your pressure's at your highest in Tony Bellew's mind, what's going on?
It's always chaos in my brain. And I suppose I thrive in the chaos. I can only think of Goodison Park. But that fight for the world title that night, that's the most stressed and worried I've ever been. Because I've been going to Goodison Park every other week since I was 9, 10 years of age with my brother. I just thought, if I lose this fight, I'll never come back here to watch football again. I'd never show my face. I've been telling people since I was 15 years old, I'm going to win a WBC title at Goodison Park. And I've been labelled a bullshitter by every single person who I come across. He's full of shit. There's never even been a fight at Goodison Park. How is he going to win a title at Goodison Park? How is he going to win a WBC title? No one from where he's from's ever fought for a WBC title. Just a fucking little fat kid from Weybridge who's living a pipe dream. And when enough people say it to you, or enough people say it behind your back and it keeps coming back to you, a part of you goes, am I a bullshitter? Am I talking shit? I mean, everyone's saying it now and everyone believes it. And then, you know, you just think, I'm not. And then that night, walking to the ring, in the chaos and the mayhem that's ensuing before me, the punch lands, you win the, and you just think, I'm not going to lie, just drop to my knees. And the relief I felt, because, you know what, I'm not that bullshitter. I've actually done it. I've achieved a lifelong dream and goal. So when that happens, relief, mate. That's the only advice I could give. And in the chaos, I think of them moments. I just think, kids out there, speak your dreams. Tell people your dreams. Put yourself under the pressures of trying to achieve them dreams. And then ultimately, you've got to figure a way out to achieve them. No dream, I don't care how lofty it seems or how big it seems, is beyond you. Especially to the young kids out there. You know, your lives are right ahead of you. I spoke to kids last week at the Liverpool Foundation, and they were kids who were teetering on the edge of crime and knives and guns and stuff like that. And we're sitting there, me, Chris Kirkland, and the City is Ours guys, the producers and a couple of the actors from it. And the kids are looking at us like we're superstars. And I just said to these kids, every one of you little fuckers is good at something in this room. Every single, and I don't want to hear, I'm thick and I'm not bright in school. I wasn't the brightest in school, but I promise you, everyone is good at something. And I went through about 6, 7 kids. What are you good at? Most of them said PlayStation or Xbox or social media. I said, well, you see that skill set or where you found it? How did you get good at it? And well, I was doing this and I was doing that and I was doing that. I said, see all these things you said you were doing, it equates to the time you spent at whatever you was doing, doesn't it? And he went, well, yeah, I gave, weeks, months, years to PlayStation. This is why I'm the best on Fortnite or the best at FIFA. That's all you have to do. Them skills are transferable. So whatever it is you're putting your time into, whatever it is you're good at, and like I said before, everyone is good at something, transfer them and put the same time into something else, and I promise you'll get good at that. And these kids looked at me at the end of it and they thought, it kind of makes sense what he's saying. I just wish someone was there to tell us when we were younger. We never had no one visit our school when we were younger. Like a world champion or a former fighter come in and go, I got there by doing this, I got there by doing that. It was just the teacher screaming and shouting at me. Nowadays, teachers don't scream or shout. They're petrified the kids, to be honest. But it's just about someone for these kids to look at and go, he's no different than me. I was thrown out of school like him. I was doing it. Nothing I've done is extraordinary. It's just I wasn't willing to give in. I just wasn't willing to stop. I just kept plugging away. And you'll find that the most successful people are exactly the same. He's exactly the same. About how many setbacks, how many rejections, how many times.
You can't even imagine, can you? Everyone who's successful got the same, though. It's not a unique story, is it? No. Every single person who's where they are has had a ridiculous amount of setbacks, but just kept going.
They just keep, that's all. I just think that's the only difference with everyone. They just kept going. And it's so hard at times, and I get it. The trials and tribulations of it all, it's hard, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, but just get back out. Just do whatever you've got to do to keep going, because that's how you'll find true success.
Right, I've loved this. I think this is exactly why we did this podcast. Everyone was saying, and I was talking today about that, we were speaking to Tony about character, and you've lived up to my expectations and more. Thank you so much, great, mate. Yeah. Like, this is exactly why we started it, wasn't it? Yeah, actually, you're the first fighter to come on. Everyone else is. We've purposely not done any fighters, but
thank you.
Even just for myself, we appreciate it.
You've got an inspirational story, mate. What you and your dad have been able to achieve is so hard. You're in a sport that, mate, it's exploded over. I've been watching mixed martial arts and UFC since I was a kid. I remember the Smashing Machine Mark here and things like that. Watching that documentary opened my eyes, and I just thought, it is so brutal, it's so hard. And I'm a huge fan of it. It's only as you get older you look into it properly and you realise the fighters and how it's going and things that are being done. But to achieve what you've achieved is remarkable.
Oh, thanks, mate.
It really is, because the UFC is such a huge brand and such a global thing. It's all over the way. It's mixed martial arts. It is so hot. Like, you wouldn't believe the amount of times I have idiots coming to me going, I don't have a fucking chance in this world with a mixed martial artist. I don't care how good your hands are. He will pick you up. Could strangle you. He could pull your foot off. He could pull your arm off. There is so many different ways. And it was only until I literally played around with it, messed that I realised how capable you guys are. But you have to understand there's so many different disciplines you're trying to master, and there's so many different ways to lose. The only difference between this and boxing is just so much more damaging on the head.
100%.
Because it's all to the head, and that's the part that makes me the saddest, and that's why I'm emotionally invested in fight. When I see the fighters, I understand what they're going through, and they don't know it yet. I know it as a retired fighter. With mixed martial artists, I don't see many come away in that punch drunk or the really damaged goods. You'll see the bodies. The bodies are more mangled and more fucked than fighters, than boxers, but they're very still here with the memories and stuff. It's just the bodies of what they're putting through, because what you go through as athletes is just extraordinary. To try and do it in that many fields, Tom, is just, I mean,
it's not easy, but I think it works the other way, because like punching is a pretty big part of our sport.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I've sparred a lot of boxers in boxing at a high level. And, like, I think that a lot of MMA fighters, they think that because punch isn't part of our sport, they can easily switch over to boxing. And it's so fucking wrong. Like, I ain't got a chance. I'm fully aware now, if I get in with, like, AJ, Usyk, any of those guys, they will absolutely pepper me in a boxing fight. Of course they will. And I think that it works both ways. I think that a lot of the time MMA fighters think, boxing's easy. Like, we punch it. It's not. That's
what people say to me. Do you start on your feet and you're just both throwing your hands? I just say to them, trust me, you have no idea. Like, I actually, to be honest, I think there is some MMA guys who could have a successful boxing. I'm not saying there's going to be, like, it goes on about Alex Pereira. Yeah, okay, he wouldn't survive with any reasonably good boxer. There's just no way. I know he can bang and I know he can punch, but it's a different skill set. But he'd do well against some.
Yeah.
But one thing that I can say is not any boxer could ever go in a cage and do well. Like, you just can't do well. There's just, because first of all, they'll just take away your skill set immediately. You'll get fights who just lie down on the floor and go, come on. You literally just lie down on the floor and go, come on, let's go. And there's nothing you can do. I remember fights, I remember Damian Maia. The fella just go on the floor on his back and just say, come and get me. Anderson Silva, probably one of the greatest strikers the UFC's ever seen. He could do everything. If you get him on the floor, you can't choke the fucker. If you stand up with him, you can't strike with him. There's just so many of them, and there's so many skills that you have to, like, I don't even know how does your body even cope?
With great difficulty a lot of the time.
Like, for me, I've always thought the most important attribute I always thought was wrestling. But I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I think there's definitely an argument to say it's a very vital factor. Because what a lot of people think about wrestling is, you think it's just taking people down. Wrestling can be used at a high level defensively as well. Like, if you've got good hands, like, you were a world champion boxer. If me and you are fighting, I'm going to take you down straight away. You can't stop me. So you have to have really good wrestling to be able to use your hands, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think these days it's just a completely new age where you can't be lacking anywhere. You have to be like nearly world level everywhere. Like you say, I don't think that I could go and box against like a fucking Tyson Fury or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But I do think I could compete at some level in boxing.
Definitely.
But I do think I could compete in some level in wrestling and some level in jiu-jitsu. But with it all together, you have to have that high level everywhere. Yeah.
You've been training boxing as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had one pro boxing fight. Yeah,
boxed. Peter Fiore, you told me about you many years ago.
Yeah,
he's a lovely fella. Peter.
He is a great guy.
He's a great guy. But that's what I'm saying. It's boxing is just so damaging on one part of the body.
Definitely.
He's trying to master so many different parts of the body that I suppose all of them get stronger with time. But it's just boxing. It's just day after day deterioration of the head, day after day after day. with the wrestling, there is so much more to think about. With the jiu-jitsu, there are so many things you better be taken into context. I mean, you guys are lying on the floor and anything could be taken at any moment. An arm, a leg, just...
Yeah.
And then while you're on the floor, you can be punched in the face. You know, it's just, it's nuts. It baffles me how many things you'd have to take into play. My son wrestles, and as I said, for the first 4 weeks, I'd done it with him. Mate, once them 4 weeks were up, I was done. I just realised youth is a real thing. He was 16 when he first went, and he's 17 now. And I just thought, nah, I could imagine someone like yourself, they just wrap it up in knots. So anyone watching this, when you go on about boxers, you know, we have no chance. Just stop it. Stop talking. You'll go in a cage. You'll do absolutely nothing in a cage. But at the same time, you're not going to get someone who's going to come into a world-class boxing arena and be able to just do what we can do.
No, impossible. Impossible.
It's just, like I said before, I remember they were talking about me fighting Michael Bisping when I was with him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
And I spoke to IMG, and I said, we can't do it in a boxing ring. You don't understand. He has no chance now. And I said, no chance. And Mike wants to do it in a boxing ring. He said, Mike, there's just no point, just no way. And I said, I'll get in the cage. And the only reason I agreed is because he's not the highest level of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but he's really strong and his cardio was always insane. Yeah. And he punched him forward like madman. But his wrestling still was very good. I'd have been eaten alive. Mate, you just stand no chance. But then what I said, like, and you flip the coin over in a boxing, people just need to understand that these sports are standalone, amazing, leave them be.
Yeah, they look similar, but they're not.
Yeah, it's like saying rugby and football are similar. Yeah. Both play the ball.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Appreciating the profession, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he's going to do a leg kick challenge now.
No, you can piss right off me. There's a chance. Like I said, I admire you guys so much, and I've watched for years from afar, and the things that you can do. I still can't grasp. Like, I'd be done 14 weeks in camp, my body's finished. I don't think I could get through a 6-week MMA camp because I'm trying to conquer that many different things.
I think it's just what you're used to, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's your body's become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Like you're going from a wrestling session to a boxing session to a jiu-jitsu session. I mean, I'm surprised you don't come out of it. It's like a T-Rex. But it's just, I say, I get it, your body does become conditioned to it. You learn to crack on, but it's still to be admired, mate. So fair play.
Love it, mate. Do you want to just round it up? Anything?
You can round it up, mate.
Oh no, it's been a pleasure, mate. It's been. Is there anything that you want to push, promote, anything like that?
I don't want, mate. I don't really push much stuff. I just.
Just authentically yourself, aren't you, mate?
Just crack on, you know what I mean? This is doing really well here.
Thanks,
mate. Thanks, mate.
Fair play.
That's been Tony Bellew, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Next, the hardest geezer. I don't want to scrub floors, I don't think, forever. There's got to be more to life than this for me. And I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to run home from Asia. That took 66 days and I ran 71 marathons.
Mate, that is fucking absolutely wild.
When I ran Africa, got myself into like multiple life-threatening situations. You know, we was held at gunpoint and I was held hostage in the jungle in Congo, and I had to do everything, travel the world to realise everything I ever wanted was actually at home already for me.